What's going on, all you secret agent man? It's your two favorite critics back here for Cinephellas. We're diving into more Bond, James Bond.
James Bond.
And I'm the hostess with the mostest, and also part of the British Secret Service. I'm Agent Logan Myers. That's my good mate over there.
I'm 00 Henry Hill, and we are back today to review James Bond film.
This one is directed by the man, Sam Mendes, Oscar winner.
Who?
Director, 1917. Directed this film from 2012 and probably one of the best Bond films in all the franchise for sure. Definitely one of the best villains as well. It's up there. This time around, we have Daniel Craig returning. And I guess we didn't review Quantum of Solace, but we did review Casino Royale. Had a great time with it. And this is the third film with Daniel Craig. Quantum of Solace was convoluted and silly, an hour and 40 minutes. Quantum of Solace, I'd give it a 2 out of 5. But anyways, Skyfall is probably one of the best entries. And we have, Daniel Craig returning as James Bond, per usual, given a mission, ends up in an exotic location, bad guys, and we know the rest.
And how does he like his martini?
Shaken, not stirred.
And he also apparently likes Heineken. They must have had a
product
placement with this movie.
Heineken.
Skyfall, what an awesome film, directed by Sam Mendes. And as with all the Bond films, there's a great opening sequence with Bond fighting some bad guys on top of a train. And we see Bond take a beating, really. You know, he's really taken a beating in these films physically. Great Bond, the most believable because of these kind of fights, because he really sells it. He really gets in there, gets down and dirty, isn't afraid to do his own stunts on these films. A lot of them he did himself. And he really, nails this character as far as, having to be this badass agent, the number one in the world that you'd call when shit goes down. 007 himself, Daniel Craig, and he really establishes himself as 007 finally fully in this film. I thought, after seeing him in Casino Royale, which was kind of like, basically year one of Bond, and then seeing Quantum of Solace, and not really enjoying that too much. I don't even know what I'd give it, but I will probably never watch it. I remember that saying, I don't want to watch Quantum of Solace again. So we get this third movie, and this is kind of like from the get-go, you feel like, okay, Bond's Bond. Finally, he owns this role. He really comes across that way in this film. And this film has to do with, a lot of family issues for Bond, as well as, some of the other people back at headquarters there who he has to report to.
Yeah, and it really sets up an awesome set and action piece right from the get-go of the film. Essentially, he's in Turkey. This guy steals a drive. It basically, on the drive, it has all the identities of the Secret Service, secret agents. So Bond is on trying to get this guy to get the drive away from him. And it really sets up the film. A lot of this has to do with M and her past in this film. So it's really, Bond against time trying to get this drive and going against this new bad guy they introduced, played by Javier Bardem, playing Raul Silva. And he was really fantastic. Really one of the best villains that I've seen. I haven't seen all the films, but up there, one of the great and most memorable. Is something sinister, unsettling about this guy. He's a computer nerd, hacker. So, throughout the film, he's hacking into the systems in London, and introduction of Q, which is like the local IT guy for the Secret Service. And really one of my favorite characters. I could relate to him in many ways, working in the industry and working with crazy shit like this.
Yeah, it introduces Q, obviously a big favorite for a lot of fans out there. Makes all of Bond's gadgets and weapons and puts everything on the cars and makes all the cool stuff that helps Bond be Bond in these films. And this is the first time we're seeing him, and we see some great gadgets in kind of his first go around. And I like their relationship in the movie. I thought, Ben Whishaw did a great job as Q. His interaction with Bond is, much like the other movies in this series. They do a great job introducing some new characters. We get to see Judi Dench in this film, Ray Fiennes. You get these refined actors. This really feels like just like a great film, not just a Bond film, but just put together so well and directed so awesome and expertly by Sam Mendes. He did a really great job on this film. Entering in this franchise, apparently, the story I heard was Daniel Craig sort of pitched him the idea I think over some beers, I want to say, or maybe over dinner, one of the two. But he kind of, knew that Sam could bring a vision to this Bond series and give us something we hadn't seen before. And he did that in this movie. It's just a great movie. You learn a lot about Bond's past, his family history, and you get a great villain. A great villain's always necessary in a Bond film. Just to, you can see them work off the main character and sort of, mimic kind of how their childhood had a lot to do with where they are now. And, kind of that aspect, the relationship between Bond and the villain's always necessary and important. And you get a powerhouse like Javier Bardem, a great actor in this role, playing Raul Silva. And he did a great job, and he looked creepy as hell. He's just a great villain. Of course, No Country for Old Men, we saw him as another, spectacular villain. And
Oscar
Skyfall,
winner.
he was another, Oscar winner, of course. And he creates another awesome villain for Skyfall.
Memorable scenes from the movies when he takes his teeth out and his like face is all sunken in. Just really creepy. I'm like, ooh, like the CGI was really good, for 2012, 10 years ago, it looked really good. I mean, the cinematography in this movie is absolutely stunning, beautiful. You got Sam Mendes at the helm. Of course, the movie's going to look good. That's what he's known for. And making everything look massive and huge, like over mountains, you're fighting, and all these sequences with James Bond jumping off buildings, it just looks huge, a huge blockbuster action-filled movie. And that's what this movie is. Pretty simple, to the point. Really, it has to do with a lot of people's past coming back to haunt them and where they're at in life and overcoming things. And some really good themes in this movie compared to others. There was a better thought process diving into this character, and also the goodbye to Judi Dench's character at the very end, being at Skyfall Mansion where James Bond grew up, and they go back there to take on Javier Bardem's bad guy and his, and his cronies essentially. But sets up really great action scene at the very end. Beautiful house in Scotland overlooking the mountains, but I just love that scene.
This movie's beautiful to look at. It's filmed, awesomely. And I love what Sam Mendes did with this film. He made everything bigger, like you said, and he did a really great job of, giving us a great Bond film and just taking it to a whole nother level, that we'd seen before. All these exotic locations, he, really captured their feel and just made this Bond movie look and sound and feel so awesome, and did a great job executing the story that they had to tell with Skyfall. Definitely one of the best Bond films, definitely in my top 3, I'd say. I have to rewatch it again just to refresh myself since it's been so long. But from what I remember, I, really liked what I saw. Near perfect Bond movie, and just a great movie in general. That being said, I'm going to give 2012's Skyfall, directed by Sam Mendes, a 4.5 out of 5 Sam Mendes hair pieces. Beautiful shot, boys.
With me checking out Daniel Craig Bond movies for the very first time during my surgery and recovering, chilling at home, this is my favorite Daniel Craig Bond movie, and definitely one of my favorite Bond films of all of them. Definitely top 5 for sure. Just everything about this movie across the board was absolutely fucking amazing. Directing, cinematography, the action was top notch. Great villain, one of the most memorable, up there with like Heath Ledger's Joker. Like very memorable villain, one of the best Bond villains of all time for sure. And just the stakes are super high in this film. It went out with a bang. Really sad at the end, but it really sets up the next chapter in the Bond saga. So I really appreciated this. Had a great time with it. This is a movie I'm definitely going to be purchasing on 4K and rewatching. And definitely one of Daniel Craig's best performances is Bond. James Bond. So I'm giving Sam Mendes' Skyfall a 5 out of 5. Ooh, Daniel Craig hair pieces. That's right, kids. I said it. A perfect score on a Bond movie. I never thought I would be saying that, but that's how much I loved it. Wow. So I'm definitely interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on this film from 2012. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite Bond film? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Also, check out these rascals on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest and greatest movies and TV news and reviews. So that's it for these 2 wild British secret agents, signing out until the next throwback movie review. Cheers!